Hi everybody, it's Sharon from the library, back again for our Making It at Home series. This is beginning knitting part 2. This will be the Learn the Knit Stitch video. I'm hoping all of you guys who've been following along at home have been practicing your knitting cast on this last week. It's not our normal cast on that most books teach you when you're learning to knit. They usually teach the longtail cast on, which is a whole different can of worms. But the reason that I like to teach the knitting cast on is because it sets you up really nicely for learning how to do the knitted stitch. It's a really similar movement. There's not a whole lot different except for you're transferring your needles, your stitches from your needle that holds your working stitches onto your other needle. So instead of putting all of our stitches back on this fella, we're actually going to have them all show up on our right-handed needle by the time we're done. To get started, you'll want to hold the left needle with all of your working stitches in your left hand, and this is the same as if you're right-handed or left-handed. At some point I'll teach a left-handed knitting video, but right now we're going to go with the English method, which is that you work the stitches with your right hand and throw or loop the yarn with your right hand as well. So just like we did in the first video, we're going to take our right needle and insert it into that loop right there and put it behind the left needle. So it looks like that if you're looking at it from the top, and like that if you're looking at it from the side. Okay? And we're going to take our working yarn and we're going to pass it in between the right and the left needle, just like we did last time, so it makes that nice little cross there in the middle of the stitch. And we're going to scoop and pull it out with our right needle, just like we did last time too. So now see, we have those two loops, one on one needle, one on the other. But unlike the cast on where we would just stick this loop back on the left needle, we're actually going to go ahead and pull the whole darn thing off. And because I cast this on slightly tightly, you'll have this same problem too. It's a little bit difficult to do. Then we're going to tighten it up and start again. So we'll insert the right needle behind the left needle in the next stitch, pass that yarn in between the two needles, loop it around, and then pull it off, the whole thing. So now there's two needles on our right hand needle and 8 stitches, not 2 needles, 2 stitches, and 8 stitches on our left hand needle. So we're going to do that again. Right behind left, wrap the yarn in between the two, pull it through, and then just right off. Ready? I really did cast this on tight. How funny. Right and behind left, wrap the yarn around, pull it through, and then off the needle. Around, pull it through, off the needle. Around, pull it through, off the needle. Around, pull it through, off the needle. Insert right behind left, wrap the yarn around, pull it through, off the needle. Right around left, pull it through, off the needle. Right around left, pull it through, off the needle. And here's our last stitch in this row. Alright, so if you're using 2 straight needles, you would just transfer this needle to your left hand and your empty needle to your right hand. We're using circulars for this, so all we're going to do is flip it over and start at the beginning again. Now if you look here, if you pull the yarn tight and weird, you're going to see that there are going to be, can you see this well? I hope so. 1, 2 loops here accidentally. Make sure you don't do that because that'll make your knitting kind of out. You don't want two stitches here, just one. So see this bump? This is called a purl bump. That needs to be on the front of your stitch, and you go through right next to it to start the row, or you'll end up in a world of hurt. So here we go. Let's start it again. Insert the right needle behind the left needle, wrap the yarn around, pull the needle through and off. Insert, wrap around, pull through and off. Insert, wrap around, through and off. Insert, wrap around, through and off. Insert, wrap around, through and off. Wrap around, through and off. Insert, 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 wrap around, through and off. And then here's our last one for this row. Insert, wrap around, through and off. You'll see down here that you've got these little row of bumps that shows that you're doing it right. Just remember to keep practicing this, because even though the motions that I'm doing are universal to knitting, the way that you hold your needles and the way that you hold your yarn and wrap it around your finger to keep it tight are unique to you. So the more that you practice this, the better you'll get. Don't worry if you drop a stitch. Don't worry if you make mistakes. This is just to practice the motion and the insertion. It's gonna get tight when you first do it because you're gonna get nervous. That's okay. Don't worry about that. Just keep practicing. It'll loosen up. Your mistakes will fix themselves. And by the time you've got your knitting about that long, it'll look really, really good. Tune in next time. We will be learning the purl stitch next time, which is pretty much the knit stitch reversed. Until I see you again and get to see you in person, stay safe, stay happy and healthy, and happy making.